I got off the bus, there was a white car idling at that intersection up ahead. And my policy on cars idling when I'm walking home at night is I will not go anywhere near that vehicle. And I took out my phone because I had gotten a text message from my auntie, and I was looking at it, and I guess they saw me take the phone out and it left. So I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to keep my eye out for white cars. Keep my eye out for any kind of... So today was interesting. We'll say the computer. I don't know who's making his schedule right now, but this computer had cut my typical hours are more like 35 a week, but that's just at the store on the clock. That's not counting the 2 hours going and coming from work every day. That's 2 hours each way. So, and that is what put one text conversation to an early grave when he found out I did that. So, but it's outreach. So, going in was pretty rough. I guess the best way to describe it is one of the drivers said they keep taking her to the hospital and getting her on medication, and she's okay, and they release her and she stops taking it and she deteriorates again, and she was literally ambling around in rags, just very extreme odor, so bad I was hacking up a lung all the way, and I lost my voice again. So yeah, it was a rough ride. And work, they had only scheduled me like 12 to 8, so they I'm not 12 to 8, no, 2 to 8, 1 to 8. So anyways, 6 hours, but they made that 8 hours, and so I made some more money, which is good. I can use it. I make a hair under 15 an hour right now. So the ride home, when I left the house, I felt like sometimes I just feel like I'm going to do some good distribution, so I just pack a lot, and I did today. Now, a lot of times I pack a lot and it just doesn't happen. I just use it up over a couple of days, or maybe like the next day I'm not feeling very well and I couldn't really do much candy anyway, so, but I had the surplus, that kind of thing. So I was got on the bus, and this has happened at least a couple times that I can recall, where it was just basically a gospel explosion. Everybody clamoring for Bibles. It was insane. So I was just literally throwing them to the back of the bus at people as the driver's just laughing her butt off going down the road. It was nuts. So, extremely cool though. And very cool to be used that way by Jesus. And thank you, Lord. That's all Him. It's not me, because I was telling Him all night, I cannot do any of this on my own. And I was thinking that one reason I may feel like some of my coworkers aren't really pulling their weight could be related to customer abuse. So I'm going to kind of feel them out on Tuesday about that, and then maybe mention it to the team lead. I mean, they're not going to change the customer's attitude, because a lot of them are just awful. But I will say that if I deal with a young person and they're polite and respectful, and I see the parent later, I will make a point of telling that parent, you've done a wonderful job with this child. Huh? Yeah, it's just so polite, respectful, as a service provider, I don't get that a lot, and it just really makes my day better. And they always just love that. And one lady started crying and saying, I was just wondering if I was doing a good job with it. Thank you. And so you never know. And one thing I think is important for me when I leave the house is just to try to hit as many love languages as I can with people. Whether it's giving them a little, gospel packet, or, patting them on the shoulder, or just words. Words are extremely important, and people don't realize the power of words. And I'm not just saying this is some kind of new agey thing, but just to, if I say something like the customers were really bad tonight, it just seems to me like people are just getting very abusive. And I said this to the driver, and I said, but then that. I said, I'm sure they're doing that with you. And she said, yes. And I said, yeah, it's just hard these days. And she agreed. And it wasn't about me, it was about us then. And I think if I'm going to talk about hard things or not hard things, then I need to be very careful about the tone I'm using, because I don't want to be one of those Eeyore types that just, what was me all the time. And I think people I don't know what kind of odor is going on right now, and I don't really want to know. It's like rotting fridge odor. It's just bad. So, reminds me when my freezer went out, during Barrel, I had no electricity for 8 days, and I forgot a sausage chub in the freezer. It was very bad. So, but I used a Chloralin bleach on a roll of shop towels, a whole bottle of bleach cleaner, and the shop towels, and it fixed it up good as new. And then the nice thing about the power outage was I could just have it open and air it out for a couple days, and then when the power came back, I was good to go. And you would never guess that there was something horrible in there. But see, that's how I try to do something that's new. So, I'm working on that, because I need to work on things like gossip. I need to work on negativity. I need to work on not being judgmental. I need to work more on surrender to Jesus. Okay, he flashes lights and stuff. But it's always good to have the safety vest on anyway, because I'm wearing a purple t-shirt, and that's not really what I call night vision. So, and it is Sunday, so I don't need to check the mail. I do need to get my donations bagged up. Most of them are done, but I need to get in the garage and get all that together and put it on the porch for the guys. So, but that's it. I really, really want that stuff gone. But, I remember so many times God used something at a thrift store for me to really fill a need I had, like work clothes. I remember when I moved to Houston, one of my bosses like, how can you afford to dress like that on what I'm paying you? I said, I go to thrift shop. She's like, oh, she'd never even considered that. But, we had some stuff on clearance, and I could talk about it now because, somebody was telling me the other stores are doing it too. So it's not just my store, but we had these little, no boundaries, romper type things that went on sale, and they were $3 at several different stores at least in the Houston area. And she was like tearing up all these stores trying to get as many as she could. And I got one in a black, which I really like, and one in a kind of like those old blue plate special type things. Okay, ooh, yeah, we were excited. He's not sober, I don't think. Yeah. See, that's the Holy Spirit. He said, get up, Heather. Get up. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Yes, yeah, I hear you, Lord. And the nice thing is, if I'm on the walking against traffic, I have a better chance. I could see him coming. So, hopefully. Now, somebody could always come up behind me, but which is a good point. So, and it's like those white china plates with a blue drawings on it. It's like that, and that is also cute. But I have to admit, I'm a little more partial to the black one. But $3 each. And then tonight at work, I'm looking around, and there's a dress. It's really cute, white with pink floral. And I'll probably have to put like some kind of legging or bike short under it because it's a little frisky. And that bad boy was $1. So I got that. And, it's just interesting how God provides. And I would like to be a source for somebody else. So, and the clothes I'm donating are in good shape. I take care of my clothes, and there's a few like ruined things that I'm going to keep just like for cooking or whatever, or yard work, like barbecue and that kind of thing. But, I don't believe in donating damaged things to a charity. And there is there's like a Value Village Savers family of thrift stores, and I like going to them. That's actually where I got my wedding dress. And it was a place at Jensen and Tidwell in Houston, in Northeast Houston. If you know Houston, that's a very bad area. But it had the wedding dress for $5.30. And my aunt took it to a seamstress friend, and she pimped it out a little bit. It's real cute. Kind of like a pretty in pink thing with it. And so they have one at Pinemont in Antoine, and I've seen that a few times now. And I thought, I might go there. I don't even know if they have a dressing room. Texas Thrift near me does not. They took it out during COVID. But it might be fun to just go and look and see what the prices are. And, I need to think about it, pray about it, but I would feel fine walking around there too. It's acres homes, but I'm not scared. That is a nice thing. I lived in some really, really terrible neighborhoods. They were paroling sex offenders a block away from my apartment. There was a drug den, 2 drug dens within a block of my house, apartment. Somebody had died in our apartment building. The police were regularly coming out. It was just, they would like throw dirty diapers in the street, broken crack pipes all over, and dirty syringes, that kind of thing, just all over. It was just part of the scenery. And I wore like closed-toed shoes anytime I went outside because I didn't want to get hepatitis or something. So, and I was there for several years. And then I was in some bad areas in Houston for another couple years. 4 years in Houston. So, going back doesn't scare me. And I think it's a good example of Romans 8:28, that God will use everything for good if you release it to Him. And that's what He did for me with those neighborhoods. Is that I worry about ego, but I'm not scared of that. What am I scared of? I'm scared of somebody following me home in my own nice neighborhood. I used to be scared to go home into my own house. I used to be scared to fall asleep with my husband in the next room. Those are things I was scared of. And, I was scared he was going to kill me for years. And he was going to get away with it too because he was a very sympathetic figure. But, God protected me. So I'm not scared to go to a rough neighborhood. The interesting thing for me would be like the service provider at the store, would they be black or Latino? Most places like out in my area, like we'll call it like north of the Beltway, Northwest, Greenspoint type area, it's all pretty much like Latino, and it's about evenly split black and Latino service providers like cashiers and stuff. Even at my store, it's similar to that. I think most of Houston is pretty evenly split, but I just wonder. So I would bring some Spanish and some English, but that is one thing I want to do when I get paid, is get some more of the Spanish New Testaments, because I'm out. But the small Spanish New Testament, I like having the small New Testament, because most of my recipients are what a ham radio friend of mine used to say were pedestrian mobile. So, I don't know, but I think they have some kind of repair going on here. So I do know the homeowner was out talking to the tenant, and he didn't seem very happy with her. So I don't know what happened. I don't really want to know what happened. But I am almost home now. And I was very proud of how God's working on my eating habits, because I had a $5 value meal for dinner, and on my lunch I ordered it, and then I ate half of it, the fries and the chicken nuggets. Yeah, we're watching each other, aren't we? He probably thinks I'm homeless, gonna break into his house. I'm not. I'm only breaking into my house. And just in front of my house looks so bad, but I don't think they're done with the pipe stuff yet, so I'm not gonna worry about it. But anyways, I lost my train of thought. Pedestrian moment. Yeah, but that is one thing I do get profiled a lot, that people assume I am a mentally ill homeless person. But if you actually look at the buggy, it's pretty well organized. And I have a lot of bungees for a poor person. Okay, so I am going to sign off and start getting my donations together.